Yep. At the risk of sticking my neck out once again for you guys just to chop it off, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some GPU stuff coming up that may be, well, not so good. The EK Quantum Surface radiators are available in many sizes and colors, offering the flexibility needed for any build. With 3 performance categories including Slim, Performance, and Extreme, the EK Quantum Surface radiators can keep even the most demanding components cool. And the multi-port options provide the modularity to make tube routing as clean and as simple as possible, regardless of your case. To see the full list of features, follow the sponsored link in the description below. Okay, so here we've got to kind of go back to the beginning of the year to understand where things are potentially going. And the only reason I'm putting this video out there is so you guys can have food for thought. You guys will need to make your own decisions. I'm not giving you buying advice. I learned my lesson on that. I probably couldn't care less on how you spend your money at this point. It's your money, it's your decision. But you gotta be able to make your decisions based on information. And if you can see where trends are leading, you can kind of make an informed decision maybe before it's too late. Being too late, well, what I'm referring to here is a potential another GPU shortage. Now, we just came out of the tunnel of the cryptocurrency boom with also the pandemic not lowering, but the inability to keep up with demand with all the people building home offices and work from home and game from home and all that sort of stuff. And now that we're out of the tunnel on that, the companies ramped up their production, and so now the AIBs and NVIDIA and AMD, they're just sitting on warehouses and warehouses of graphics cards that aren't selling. And that's for multiple reasons. Obviously, the economy took a dump. People have very important things to pay for before commodities like gaming or graphics cards or PCs or whatever. And I know a lot of people right now are starting to get into a position where they're like, hey, I'm finally able to consider building a gaming computer after putting the whole concept on hold for 2 or 3 years. Unfortunately, now with people starting to build again, that's going to eat up some of the available stock with demand. We have now entered, we've actually been in this space now for quite a few years, but now we are entering in the real AI boom. And AI is the latest monster that is going to probably gobble up all of your GPUs. AI is kind of like RGB. We all hate it because we just hear about it all the time, but you know what? It's a way of life now, and you just got to learn to live with it. Unfortunately, what we're dealing with now is a massive spread between the official AI deep learning / facilities, these big, giant supercomputer servers put together that do nothing but learn. And they utilize very high-end hardware that NVIDIA has come out with over the years in several generations, ever since Titan Volta, back with like the P100 data center type stuff, where they have graphics cards that are not really graphics cards at all. They don't even have a video output. They don't even have a fan. They're just designed to sit 8 or 12 or 16 or whatever in a rack and not the country, but a rack, like a rack server, and do nothing but be trained on AI over and over again. Anyway, we are talking billions of words and such to be learned. I don't know much about AI and how it works, by the way, in terms of the learning. I just know words are one of the things that apparently, and then there's tokens. There's like 3.3 million words for training data, 402 billion tokens, etc. I mean, we got like 3.14 to the 10 times 10 to the 23rd flops. Like, I don't know what any of this means, okay? This is performance numbers for AI. All I know is that sounds like a very big number, and it's basically pi. Is AI in a circle? Whatever, I digress. ADD. But when it comes to AI in any particular industry that's growing or booming, everyone wants a piece of the pie. Hey, pi, 3.1, get it? Pi is 3. So you've had, I mean, NVIDIA has been building these rack mounts that are designed for AI deep learning for a decade now. But what we're starting to see is as desktop graphics cards have gotten faster and faster, and although they will not come anywhere near the performance of these $100,000 GPUs or $70,000 GPUs or whatever they are, they still provide the little guy that's trying to train their own AI to do whatever needs they need. Because here's the thing, AI is now looked at as a business tool. AI is not just, hey, whatever smart assistant, what's the weather today? I mean, that's like the very mundane, everyday type of use. You guys have it on your watches, you have it in your phones, it's listening to you right now. Have you ever talked to somebody and suddenly you're getting ads? There's your proof that your phone is always listening. So that's all AI. But these are AI companies that are using it as massive market adjustment tools to manipulate markets and stuff. But when it comes to the little guy that's trying to train AI to do something for their business, graphics cards at a desktop level
is where they start. And this is very similar to cryptocurrency mining. You had those farms that were just full of hundreds, if not thousands of GPUs, all combining their power to just mine cryptocurrency and make money. Well, there's also the little guys that were buying up 10 or 20 at a time. Now, what happens when you start having a high demand for something that's new in the industry that can potentially be seen as a new, like the boom, whenever booms happen, remember the dot-com boom and the net boom and all that sort of stuff? I guess that's the same thing. They change the world and the way markets react. And AI is doing that right now. But what's creating is a just influx of people trying to get in on it. And it's getting to the point to where even though many of these articles that were talking about the potential fear of shortages regarding GPUs, we're in a shortage now. Hold up, I know right now you're going, the hell, Jay, I can go to Newegg and buy any graphics card I want. I'm not talking about those graphics cards. I am talking about the cards that are specifically built and designed for AI. As those cards become less available, if available at all, what's gonna happen is people are gonna start buying up whatever they can, because having something be not efficient at generating whatever AI model or working on whatever model it is, having something that's slow is better than nothing at all. So that is where you're gonna have companies ranging from all sizes, tiny little garage operations to giant warehouses in China full of thousands of servers doing this. We are gonna potentially start seeing your graphics cards GPU, or your desktop GPUs become more scarce and more scarce. And right now, in fact, I was looking at PC Part Picker like pricing trends. Things have come down quite a bit since launch of 40 series, not as far as I thought that they would, but as 30 series disappear, and we know they're slowly disappearing, you can still get some, but they're slowly disappearing. 40 series demand's gonna go up because of the fact that you can't buy anything else, even though there's tons of people saying, screw it, I'm not buying 40 series. 40 series has been climbing the charts on Steam survey. We're talking like 4060 Ti's and 4070s, and cards that were absolute jokes are working their way up because people are buying what's available. But what we're gonna notice now is not just these giant AI companies and small AI companies buying whatever's available. We have to look at this from a manufacturing side to predict the potential shortage. Let's say you're NVIDIA. You're the #1 AI company in the world, and you can't deny that, whether you're a hater of NVIDIA or not. NVIDIA is the #1 AI company in the world, building these systems that are designed for nothing but deep learning. If you're able to sell a single graphics card for up to $70,000, which is what's happening as we make this video, and that's being built off of the same silicon that your gaming graphics card is being built off of, which as a company that is for profit and has investors to answer to, do you think that they're gonna do? Do you think they're gonna set aside a big amount for these desktop gaming cards that they might be making $1,000 to $1,500 on? Or these other cards that they're gonna make $60,000, $70,000 on a piece? Now there's another piece of the puzzle that you have to consider. Although NVIDIA is the largest AI company in the world and arguably the largest GPU manufacturer in the world, they are not a manufacturer at all. They're a designer. They have to put in orders with TSMC just like any other company. And TSMC is also gonna only give a certain amount of manufacturing allocation to the brands that they work with. So NVIDIA is a customer as well. So if you now have a limited amount of, because if you're NVIDIA, you would probably want the entire TSMC facility doing nothing but your orders. And Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, which is the #1 manufacturer in the world for silicon, has a lot of orders that it has to deal with. They've even I think they're right on the cusp of opening in brand new manufacturing facilities to try and keep up with demand. But this comes into multiple things happening at the same time. AI growing from all sizes of operation. From the guy in his garage. Do you know how many people I've had email me saying, hey, I've come up with this really cool AI thing. I'd love you to show it. I'm obviously never gonna show that sort of stuff because I can't tell you whether or not it's nefarious or good or bad, designed to mine you or whatever. I have no idea, so I'm not gonna go distribute that crap. But all the way up to these manufacturers that are buying up thousands and thousands of GPUs. In fact, even a picture on Twitter that went out, it's made its way around, is a guy that's got 60 XFX 7900 XTX GPUs, all brand new in the box. And that's just the start. These are just people that are trying to get their operations up and running. So they're creating these AI farms with whatever's available. So as you get people buying the inventory that's currently available, as you get NVIDIA being limited on how much they can manufacture, and then obviously having to make the choice on where they're going to spend that manufacturing allocation, I can guarantee you they will continue making gaming cards, but it will not be at where demand could potentially be. We're seeing people building computers again. We're seeing people start to be able to recover slowly from the financial situations that we're in right now around the world regarding the highest rates of inflation we've ever seen. But that, coupled with now we're back to school, that usually buys up a bunch of laptops and stuff, and this is all silicon allocation as well. We're talking about how many ways those wafers can be cut. And then these AI companies starting up, and then NVIDIA potentially giving off a sliver of the manufacturing to gaming, and then the rest to the very expensive stuff. We could potentially see a much longer shortage than what we just experienced, because AI is not as volatile as cryptocurrency. Because cryptocurrency demand goes up with the price and down with the price. But guess what? AI is just a trajectory. It's a money-making tool. It's not something people are creating a thing to sell to make money. I mean, they are technically, but we've just begun the AI revolution, if you will. And so we are gonna see, if a potential shortage happens here, we're gonna see this one last a long time. And trust me, channels like mine get a little worried when that sort of stuff happens, because as the viewer gets jaded, people become less interested in PC. And that is my enthusiast. I'm an enthusiast of PC. I want everyone to have a PC and share it and game and use it for work and school. And I think personal computers I can't explain why it's my passion. And this is on here because I'm actually gonna be working on this again. I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the video, but I digress. So we're turning it into an Expanse build, not a Star Wars build. You know, actual real space stuff. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, this is not gonna be one that we just hope for a crash or a move to ASIC where they can get off GPU. There might end up becoming desktop / ASICs that people will be able to buy in the future that'll be better AI. But there's an article here that I was reading. It's basically, and I'll put a link down below. Hopefully I don't DDoS their site. I have no idea what their bandwidth is like on their site, but it's from a venture capitalist website that talks about AI and stuff. The parting words are what's interesting here. However, none of this means that we don't expect an increase in demand for compute capacity. And they're talking about the fact that AI isn't becoming more demanding. It's just, you have to scale up to have more machines learning. That's how you grow the faster AI learning, is more machines doing it. They say that if model and training set growth slows, the growth of the AI industry and increase in the number of AI developers will fuel a demand for more and faster GPUs. And a large fraction of GPU capacity is used for testing by developers during the development phase of a model. So what they're saying is you can have the big farming machines doing the learning, but then you have the testing phases and stuff happening on these smaller, less powerful machines, which is what they're using GPUs for. But they said, in bold, there's no sign that the GPU shortage we have today will abate in the near future. Now we're talking at that high-end, designed for AI type of GPUs. So the too long didn't read. We are entering a new era of GPU demand. And it's starting at a very expensive, very specific use case that is gonna trickle down as that resource dries up, which it sounds like is already happening here. I don't know why NVIDIA hasn't become their own manufacturer, like Intel, to be honest. I bet you that's something they're working towards. Because NVIDIA is a customer of TSMC. Limited allocation to you means limited availability for your customers, which has a trickle-down effect. And guess what? When it comes to GPU, like hierarchy, we as gamers are at the bottom. So this is where I ask you, if you've been holding off going, I'll wait because 40 series is very overpriced, which it is. Its performance per dollar is exactly the same as 30 series. It just slid the bracket out a few notches. Are you going to wait, or are you going to maybe consider buying something soon? And this is scary to even say because I'm not giving you buying advice. I'm not telling you, if we look at trends, this article came out in April. Today, the pricing is actually down from where 40 series first launched. But how long will it stay there before it goes up? Or will it go down even more? This is where you have to take the risk and try and decide, and you have to weigh that yourself. I think the smart thing to do is just sign up for those price tracker sites. I don't know, like PC Part Picker has notifications and stuff. And I'm using PC Part Picker right now to see what some of these trends are. And as soon as you see it starting to spike up, that might be the time to say, okay, I'm gonna pull the trigger or I'm not. But the risk is it could come back down again. But if we look at the trend, that hasn't really been the case for 40 series so far. It has slowly trended downward and it's kind of flat right now where it's at. I'm very just jaded to all of this at this point because I just want everything to go back to normal, the way it was. So I guess now what we need is some sort of a real ASIC other than a GPU to be able to do this AI deep learning stuff. But I think that's exactly what GPUs have become. I don't think GPUs at this point are truly graphics cards anymore as much as they're just high-powered, high teraflop compute devices that are used for many different things now. All right, guys, sound off down below. Do you think another apocalypse is coming with graphics cards? Are you gonna wait? Did you already buy? Or are you just gonna buy a PS5?
Which is manufactured by TSMC.
Oh yeah. And we are talking billions and billions. Anyway, we are talking